Are you disappointed yet? I know a lot of people disappointed with this channel. They subscribe for lively gun reviews. And instead they're getting these videos that seemingly have nothing to do with guns. But that's not what this video is about. It's not about your disappointment with this channel. It's about your disappointment with everything else, really. Just like this channel. And really, whatever you think about, depending on what stage of your life that you're in. If you're a teenager, you've probably already been disappointed with your parents. If you're a parent and have a teenager, you've probably already been disappointed with your children. If you had an insurance claim, you're probably already disappointed with your insurance company. If you ever bought a house, you're disappointed with the housing market and real estate. If you ever been to a hospital, you're already disappointed with the healthcare system. If you ever been in a serious relationship, you're probably already disappointed. In men, if you're a woman. In women, if you're a man. If you've been involved in politics, you're already disappointed with politics. If you've ever been involved in any organization, non-profit organization, church, great example, small letter C church. Anyway, where am I going with this? I'm going with this to not sound depressive. In fact, the opposite of it. Because it is a good thing, believe it or not. Being disappointed in everything that is in the world, that is the world of the flesh, is a good thing. Because at some point you start asking a question, like, man, is this really it? Everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm putting my effort into. I was raising my children this way, and now they're doing this. I was treating my parents this way, and now they're doing that. I was going to school for this, and yeah, add that to your list. If you went to school, if you went to higher education facility, we always think about things, we look at the things that we never done and say, man, I wish I did that. But the reality is, if you did do that, by now you're disappointed. But why is it a good thing? It is a good thing because you asked that very important question. The very important question that is there anything beyond that? And if you live in the world that is as it is presented by society, let's just call it that for now, this absolutely meaningless speck of dust in the universe created by a big bang. Bang! Random chance through billions of years. This particle of dust accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. And then the meteors and the comets, and they brought the water and all the other elements. And somehow the life came into being. Out of all these billions and gajillions of specks of dust that are flying around randomly in this chaotic space that we call universe, that is completely meaningless and senseless and purposeless if you think about it, because it's all an accident. this planet, of all the planets, this particular planet. What a waste of time. And the lifespan. What do? Well, you look at the birds, they fly today, they're dead tomorrow. The whole species are gone. We had one species 10 years ago, today we don't have them. The species of animals, the species of insects, fish, they disappear. Just like eventually we do. What a waste of time, right? In this absolutely meaningless nothing. And then the same people that tell you all of this, they also tell you, oh, law of attraction. Ask the universe and your wish will be granted. Because the meaningless universe, it has the capability to give you something back. Great. But if you don't stop asking that question, if you don't stop asking that question, what is the meaning of all this? And that's what people do. People, we make ourselves busy with other things so that we do not get into that scary place of thinking about what is the purpose of any of this? Why am I doing any of these things? Why am I wasting my life away sitting here and making these videos? Why was I wasting my life away 10 years ago sitting in a cubicle 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week? Why did I waste my 15, 16, 17 years on education that kept telling me that this is all meaningless? And it is scary to get into that space. It is scary to get into that space because if you are not prepared, if you don't have the shield, if you don't have the armor, the right armor on you, it's very easy to get depressed, anxious, and that's why you see all of all the people who struggle with these things. And I've been there too. You can only evade. You can only evade that for so long. But eventually it catches up to you. And people evade it using everything really. Using relationships, using education, using the careers, using the staying busy, businesses, using the accumulation of materialistic stuff, building wealth, numbers, bunch of numbers. But the numbers don't give you comfort, and you see it. No matter how much numbers you have in your IRA, in your 401k, no matter what the number is that you're receiving every week, every 2 weeks, from your job, it is never enough. You always want more. And you keep yourself preoccupied with chasing that more. But in the end, it catches up to you. So why is it good? It is good because if you don't stop, if you can endure, if you can go through it with open heart, you will find the answers. You will find what is true. And the truth is is that this world, the world of the flesh, the world that was created on top of this creation that we call random, the human world, is a finite space. And the good news is that there is more to it, and that there is purpose in absolutely every little thing. Whether it is those dead trees that are turning to ashes, or whether it is us that eventually will turn to ashes as well. That is the nature of the flesh. And the bigger picture, you will not see and will not understand unless you give up your pride and say, I am not in control of anything. Absolutely any given moment, absolutely anything can happen. Just because I'm sitting here in the middle of the nowhere, the ember can strike out of that pile of dead wood and catch me on fire and I'll burn down. And you can see a lot of things that happen. A lot of horrible things. A lot of death. That happens, and it is seemingly meaningless. Meaningless loss. But when you give up that control, when you give up that pride that tells you that, oh no, you're fine, you're in control, just do this, do that. Chase your personal ambition until you cannot do that anymore. You start seeing things a little bit differently. And when you start seeing things a little bit differently, eventually you start seeing things a lot differently. And it becomes easier. It becomes easier not to be disappointed. Because now you don't have any expectations of things. Because now you know that you're not in control of any of these things. You're not in control of your relationships. You're not in control of your children. You're not in control of your parents. You're not in control of your businesses and your careers and educations and all your materialistic stuff and even the numbers. Today you have it, tomorrow you don't. Tomorrow you might have 10 times more. But that's not what gives you peace. Because there's only one thing that can truly give you peace. And that one thing is the understanding of all of that all of that is happening for a reason. That all of that is part of the plan. The universe is not a random chance that bang happened and just happened to be. But there is purpose in absolutely everything. Including you and everything that you've been through, everything you're going through now, and everything you will go through. The difference is whether you will, or you did, or you are giving up your pride, asking this question, looking into this dark, finite reality. Why do you think it's being called the valley of the shadows of death? It's because everywhere you look into that, you see death. And it's a scary place. It's a scary place to walk through. looking at that, realizing that, being in acceptance with that, and not running away from it. And yeah, while we are in flesh, while we are walking through the valley of the shadows of death, we will not stop being disappointed. That is why it is through Jesus Christ who we can look at and see everything that He has done. All the healing, all the teaching, all the accepting of everyone. Forgiving the sins, giving people peace and comfort, relieving them from judgment and condemnation. Giving the sight to the blind, giving the hearing to the deaf, resurrecting the dead, and then going what He went through. His own people, mocking, false witnessing against Him, giving Him up to another nation because they themselves did not want to carry the responsibility for His death, even though they do up until today. And that is why you can see that happening. There's a reason in everything. And through Jesus Christ you can understand that, and you can see that. Just like you can see the reason for everything in the nations, and how they are, and what they're doing, what they have been doing, what they're doing now, and what they will be doing. Just like you can see it in people, individual people. What they were doing, what they're doing now, and what they will be doing. Imagine how much disappointment, how much pain it must have been to know all your life that this is what is going to happen to you in the flesh. That this is what you will go through, this is what you will experience. This mockery, disrespect. Up until the very last moment, up until your very last breath, people laughing at you while you are dying. That is the nature of the world of the flesh. And that is the essence of the good news, is that in it, through Jesus Christ, you can have the hope for the better life, for the better world, where there is no pain, there is no suffering, there is no disappointment. So don't choose this. Because in a matter of time, if this is what you choose, you will be disappointed. Choose instead something greater. And you can have the assurance that there is something greater. And you can understand it and see it through what Jesus Christ already done for us.